Thank you for being here. This is going to be the last segment of our event, our inaugural event, the 2022 Cannabis Science and Industry Congress. So we all want to thank everybody for your participation and creating this historical event. And we're very excited. Please come back and listen about next year. We're going to come back next year, and it's going to be bigger and better. And we're looking forward to welcoming every one of you who are members of this special group. So thank you all very much. This last segment will be very special. We've got some of the speakers that we've had over the last 3 days. And what we'll be doing is asking the group a couple of questions. They will each answer them individually. And again, I think it's going to be a really great way to wrap this special event up. And again, thank you very much. So with that, each speaker, if you would introduce yourselves and a little bit of your background, and then I'm going to hit you with questions going the other way. Dan?
All right. My name is Dan O'Brien. I'm the lead researcher for Rocco Plants here in Costa Rica, working with Maganinta to help prove the viability of cannabis and get this industry kicked off for the Costa Rican people. A little bit of history in the CBD industry in the States, as well as an entrepreneur, and definitely would like to use our skills to be able to help you guys succeed.
Hi everyone, I'm Everton Flemings, Director and Board Member of Plant-Based Sciences International in San Diego, California. I'm also the President of High Valley Nutraceuticals. At the moment, I also do, I would say, global advisory of government formulation of policies for those legislated countries of the world, especially Costa Rica, parts of the Caribbean and Latin America. My background really is in policy development and formulation and implementation of such policy programs for developing organizations and developing industries.
Hello, my name is Jean Lotus, and I am a reporter and publisher of Hemp Build magazine. I write a lot about industrial hemp in the United States, the reintroduction, which I call it the second chance crop, and but I specifically write about hemp being used in building materials, where it has been used for 30 years in Europe and is now starting out to be used all over the world.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carl Martel. I'm an independent scientist. I've been working in the field of cannabis for well over a decade now. I do a lot of green extraction processes. I like working carbon, the herd, the food, the fiber, all aspects of this plant. Co-founder of many companies within this industry, and here to help in any way I can and to work with Costa Rica and moving forward in this industry, which has great promise. This is a fantastic plant, and looking forward to seeing Costa Rica move forward with this. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Nathan. Thank you so much for the invitation here. I'm the CEO and co-founder for Vern Bioanalytics in Massachusetts, United States. My background is part biology, part computer science, and deriving that for testing purposes. So at Vern, we develop testing technology that you can run on the genetic and the pathogens that could possibly infect your plants, which you're going to have abundance here in Costa Rica, given your biodiversity. And I'm super excited about all the potential within this industry.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Liago. I'm the founder and CEO of the International Hemp Exchange. We've been in the industry since 2016 with a focus on supporting the supply chain from seed to sale. We've been involved in a lot of different things, from digital marketplaces to genetics, processing, and different consumer brands. And our main focus is really helping support and develop these supply chains in this new industry.
Rusty Peterson. I'm with Align Agro and Essen Atlas. I've been involved with everything from cannabinoid production to extraction, R&D for fiber and fiber and grain, going into end-use applications, improving that out, supply chain development, and biotechnology.
Right. Rusty, you're going to start with this question. Okay. So, what is the most passionate, or what do you find to be most passionate for you in this industry? The one thing.
Most passionate in this industry is being able to take out toxically mined minerals and replacing it with hemp into a multitude of different end-use applications. And of course, how that replaces the carbon footprint and helps starting to lower that as a permanent solution to everything that we're dealing with.
So I enjoy the aspect of this industry that is forcing us to look back at a simpler supply chain. Creating our own food, creating our own materials, manufacturing different products. This plant really allows you to create a number of different paths to go down that all take us back to kind of our ancestral roots, which is producing our own food, producing our own materials. This plant can feed us, clothe us, we can build with it. There's endless opportunities right now. And that's the piece that's most exciting for me, is really going back and thinking about a simpler way to do things that is ultimately going to be better for the people and the planet.
So for me, it's just the quickness to market for a lot of the applications of this plant. As an academic researcher, as well as working in industry, it can take years or decades before you actually see an impact in people's lives. For many of the things that are being talked about with this plant, it can happen tomorrow. It doesn't take decades or anything to discover much more. There's lots to be understood, but the applications and impact can happen now. And that's part of the things that are extremely exciting about the potential.
For me, I guess it's going to be some of the neighborhood of human health and environmental health. This plant can actually go to a long way to helping in both, focuses on plant carbon, battery, energy, some of the other things that haven't been mentioned. That way, that's where I see this plant being able to take us to a more environmentally friendly world and better human health.
I second that. For me, with construction, I think that industrial hemp represents a way to combat the construction industry, which needs to improve its carbon footprint, causes 40% yearly of the global greenhouse gas emissions, 25% of the landfill. This method of building using industrial hemp in the wall assemblies of buildings can help us just really decarbonize construction, embed that carbon into buildings that last for 100 years, and scale that on a massive scale. I think it's very democratizing and very empowering.
Right. My passion is to see the cannabis/nutraceutical industry begin to develop the industry from a very, very scientific approach from the soil to patient, meaning that the industry must first understand the microbial activities within every soil that they use, grow your living soil specifically for a strain of cannabis, and that cannabis strain must also be grown specifically for a particular disease of a patient. And so the traceability of soil to patient is most passionate for me.
What I find most passionate about cannabis is the amount of impact that it can make directly on people's lives and the ability that we have to create a better universe, and really look forward to sharing that with people. And I'm very passionate about taking the time to instill these values and, incite other people to really take after it.
Thanks, Dan. And yes, Dan, thank you. I'd like to take a stab at this too. What I find most passionate about this industry is the nature of pulling together humanity and people that have a common human, just heartfelt attachment to the earth. And when you see all these people that are, like all of our speakers, everybody that comes here, everybody that's attending, we all have a common bond. And I think, yeah, as humanity, as humans, we need to come together more than ever at this time in the world. And this plant can do that. It's a harmonizing and unifying plant. And you can see it on a micro level with all these wonderful people. And thank you all for participating. We really thank you. So thank you for that. Dan, we're going to go this way now. If you could speak to the Costa Rican people, and I know you've presented your findings, but if you could speak to the Costa Rican people and give them some advice moving forward, speak to the country personally, what would you say?
Be patient. Do not give up. This plant has so many things it can do for us. It takes all of you and the people that you educate from here to push this forward. So that's something that you should take home with you and pass on.
My advice to the Costa Rican people coming into this industry is that everything that you do it from your natural resources, no matter what it is. Make sure that the bottom up is from your own natural resource.
I think there was some disappointment that the president decided to push back on the legislation that so many people have helped educate lawmakers like Dan. But I do think that Costa Rica and all countries, the United States as well, needs to know that 65 countries are legalizing industrial hemp and other cannabis products along the spectrum in this year. So it really is a turning point right now in history. And I also think that we need to offer a path to small incremental wins. And one of those would be just legalizing industrial hemp for industrial uses.
To the Costa Rican people, I say, don't be afraid of this plant. This plant will actually save you. This plant will, one day return to what it once was. 150 years ago, cannabis was the most widely traded agricultural crop in the world. And we are going back to that. I guarantee you it's going back there.
So all this advice, I completely wholeheartedly agree. The other aspects I would say is be watchful of how you work with this plant and how it interacts with your environment. Because of how wonderfully rich Costa Rica is, this plant is going to have some slightly different adaptations and effects that may be different than other countries. And so be mindful of your own country's impact with this plant and don't necessarily take all our rules or all our observations to heart. Watch yourself in terms of that.
So my advice to the Costa Rican people would be to take it slow. This isn't a race. Even though there's other countries that have legalized, we're still at the beginning of this. You don't have to rush in. You can take your time, do things right, be patient, be thoughtful, and continue to care about what you're doing. And there's going to be a lot of opportunity.
Well said. I definitely agree with what everybody said. And to piggyback off of what Mike had just said, it is at a point where it is so new. Start foundationally and start with the right attitude towards it and creating something high quality. You guys are not behind. In fact, you're probably further ahead because you can look to some of us in the beginning that have done some things wrong. That brings me to my next point, which is as much as you can listen to the experts up here, I personally have only been in it for a certain amount of time. And one of the biggest things that I found was the most resourceful and best is networking and getting your hands dirty with it. Get out there, get dirty, do small plots, experiment, push yourself, challenge yourself with the plant. And what's great is with your culture and how great everybody is here and working together, the plant will speak to you and it will tell you what to do. And when you feel inherently in you, listen to that. And don't listen to all these other people that are trying to come with you at money. Do it for you and do it for your people.
So at this point, Dan and I just want to thank you so much
Absolutely.
for being here. And it's been a lot of work, but it's from the heart.
Yep.
And
Very well rewarding. So thank you for coming.
thank you so much. And this is going to conclude the inaugural year of the 2022 Cannabis Congress. Thank you.
Muchas gracias. Por favor, no se olviden de entregar los auriculares